First map, first outing, it was beautiful to see. A few mistakes made for teams, and like Max alluded to, a rough start for the many, but it is the few that have been showing up here at the Esports World Cup for the PUBG Mobile World Cup in force. Beautiful eliminations, some great teamwork, but what will we be seeing here?
It's exactly what we want to have happen on our stage right now. Over on our angle, we're going to send it back over to the old classic.
That was good, I like that.
You did?
Yeah.
That was decent.
I told you, decent Foley artist.
Yeah, man, I got it.
Sounds down.
But match number 2 out of 18 here right now. This is Group Red versus Yellow. So we'll have the groups shifted up a little bit tomorrow. Look at this. Down towards the south side of the map, coming from Primorsk all the way over towards Milta Power. Weibo Gaming down towards Primorsk, a really nice spot to start off in as well, to be honest with you. I think anyone that can start off in Primorsk on this kind of playing path does have a big advantage, especially because you can line this western coast as well, pick up a lot of vehicles, have control over towards Quarry, a massive amount of loot to have over down towards Primorsk. So yeah, very, very good beginning there for Weibo Gaming that have suck over towards Sosnovka.
Yeah, quite a wide split for the scout, mate.
That's a groin-splitting split.
Yeah, I don't think like what was his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme? No.
Yeah.
Was it Van Damme?
Yeah, with the jeans, with the jeans.
Yeah, it was Van Damme,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah. That would be the guy. That's what we're watching here. So. The Van Damme split.
Van Damme split, you're not wrong. Oh, okay. So obviously we were alluding to this a little bit. We were setting up the fact that Power could have had a bit of a drop on the Weibo, but it's not what we've seen. Instead, it's Influence, Rage that are here, actually getting a bit of their own back for Easy, who had the flank in the first map, obviously being able to instantly get the damage out. Al-Haji, not ideal. A big man for the team, but not able to deliver on that first encounter. For Dan as well, you have eaten that nade.
Ooh. But hey, Dan, just down. And it's unfortunate to see, honestly. Yeah. I think what typically happens with Aiden is that when Al-Haji goes down, he really struggles. When he's up, he plays kind of the centerpiece to that role where you do need him on the off angle to support Al-Haji, but he goes for those pretty insane rollouts. But yeah, now just Ragnar and Easy try and make it happen. Got the doolies.
Trying to bait on a peak. Wild spray of bullets, but teamwork's there for the close quarters engagement. It's not ideal. And again, literally the same story, bro. This is the worst outcome, right? Just Easy left alone as the solo, if he even makes it out, but everyone's gunning for him. Want to confirm the full wipe on the squad, and that'd be Power Gaming going down as effectively the first full knock in both of the maps. Elevated angle over the top, they're going to dive onto him, will eventually clean up. Took a bit of time to find it, but Easy's gone. You can get the save back onto him there. So Power out.
Spat out his chewing gum. I'm so happy about it.
Success.
That's a successful push. They chew down over towards Power. I'll tell you that right now for Influence Rage. It was fresh, mate. Yeah, I think honestly on Milta, there was no way that Easy was getting out from there. You're backing it up to where he was. It was just complete open ground. There's a couple of buildings, and they would just isolate his position, located him, targeted him fairly quickly. But it's a quick cleanup over towards Milta as well.
It was. Obviously, we were kind of setting this one up with a bit of a breakdown on the split situation there. It's 4 Thrives that would be in the middle of the group reconnecting from that side if you're making the late rotate in from Sosnovka. I am curious to see how we would actually end up playing over the course of this one, because setting up the idea like, oh, a bit of a chance there. We'll see if Power Gaming can start things off better. Didn't go that way. It wasn't the storyline we got. Again, results them going down first. You've got potential as well. I think the longer these games go on, Blank, the longer the day goes on, potentially even for them, I think this is where we're going to see more and more of that team being able to deliver. There's so much talent on there. You can tip of everyone's tongue saying that this could be the chance for that side of the region. They can start showing up again. So I'm curious if they're showing us a bit of innovation for some of these plays.
Yeah, I sort of understand it where you send Sukat down towards Sosnovka on the eventuality it is the south circle. But even then, like, you could make an efficient rotation across, and maybe it's a case where Sook in that situation just takes some pot shots over towards 4th drives as they make their way across the bridge, and then they can group up. But I think that the risk doesn't outweigh the reward here, honestly. It's going to be difficult to get back together. There's potential that Sook can take some vehicles, take a boat back around towards them, but by then you have delayed your rotation by a ton. For Falcons, on the other hand, no hot drop over towards there. Though my main takeaway from this game is because it's such a southern playing path, it doesn't really tell us too much about the drop spots, because these were a lot of backups being used.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. It's a good point to keep in mind, obviously, in terms of how it's going to affect things here. Give us some different results over the course of the day.
I was stressing going into the next match. They're like, do we want to drop Yasnaya?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the awkward part. Because obviously, once it kind of is forgivable and it feels a bit rough and you can fix it, the second time it happens, that's when it is instantly like, we're at the halfway point of the day, boys. Like, it's already creeped up on us, you know?
How do you fix this? You have to get the screwdriver and kit out, figure out where the loose screw is.
I suppose at least the only blessing, like Max was saying, there is a decent gap. If you look towards, obviously, what, 6th upwards, it's not that much of a difference with points, right? So, like, obviously, if you just actually start to build your way back in and everyone else doesn't have a crazy spread, then maybe it's not the end of the world. But the likelihood of that obviously has a lot of bells and whistles attached to it.
Yeah, and as we know, Jackie, for the group stage we're starting off with, it really isn't that unforgivable to go down too early. We're going to get 8 teams going through towards straight through, and then we have 8 teams going through to the survival stage, battling it out. Right, that's what we want to see here. So there is still a lot of chance for our squads to remain in this one for a long, long time. So it will be 16 teams in that survival stage. 8 of our top teams will be heading straight through towards those finals we'll be playing later. So we won't really see any teams or their keys being crushed until after that survival stage.
Yeah, you've got to wait for the spectacle. Like Barney was teasing, when the iris opens, sparks will be flying. So you won't want to miss that as the action develops here. I was kind of hoping a little bit, actually, we would get a run-in between these two with how good Yangon Galacticus looked into the previous matchup with Alpha 7 on the roam over. And it's DRX in the back line, so potential for the rotates in actually being quite spicy when the fights break out.
Yangon Galacticos pretty close towards what I would say is a fairly central position. Now roaming around towards gas station, and that side of the map pretty barren over towards the pizza slice that just sits on the northwest side of the map, which is very, very open. You don't really want to play around there. Always do find that cross from shooting range off to that eastern side is a bit more awkward, which is why you're seeing much more teams down towards that southeast around Yasnaya. And staying far enough away from the field. So there's a lot of treacherous zones here that you don't really want to go into. I'm sort of surprised we don't have any teams trying to bank over towards Rozok. I guess for Regnum Karya, they're keeping a player back in wild so he can quickly dash back over towards Rozok if needs be.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see, though. Let's see what this is going to do in terms of the shift and how the zone rotate will affect things. Blank, obviously, favours more central overall. Actually not too bad, really, especially in terms of the group that you've got there. So DRX still being able to play on the outer edge, everyone else making their move in. Falcons obviously slight adjustment there. Pachinki obviously open entirely as well, so we're regrouping up. It's a late rotate in through the blue for Weebu, and they'll have their focus in on a little bit of a late joining.
I think, honestly though, for the circle, pretty rough. You have the entirety of the fields right here on the map, which is just bare open ground, and then the pizza slice that I was talking about earlier, which is on that southwest side of Stalba, where the 2 roads make that kind of triangle slice. That is fairly open too. So this is pretty tough for a lot of teams to remain, and I would probably bank on at least 2 or 3 teams going down over the course of the next circle, maybe circle and a half.
Definitely a lot of potential. Not much cover to play with, limited opportunities for the compound, so fights could be coming your way.
Absolutely, you're right. Team Falcons down towards the southwest edge. Like you said, Chinky was free as they'd left it quite early, but they're going to have to get past school right now. They're over towards apartments. A little bit more difficult to see because we are cramming 15 teams into a small space because they're all avoiding that fielded area. They're trying to take up space around some of the remaining compounds. You have the river that cuts through into the lake. It's a weird circle. It's a very weird circle. I do like this position DRX has, though Alpha 7 is waiting in the wings. Mafioso underneath. This typically is a really good spot to catch teams playing on those outer shacks and outposts just over towards the western side of Yasnaya on the lake. You can control a lot of area from this top side. Now, how will DRX handle Alpha 7 though? Because the rest of the team is making their way on over with Creo, Squash and Revo just off towards the west.
It's Mafioso just playing on the lip here of the rock face. He's had the vehicles approaching, the engine giving that away. Just tucks in, has to play on the off angle realistically. If they peek into him, he seems like he's got a good read on the situation at least, but spacing from the teammates relatively far. DRX trying to get a lay of the land, assess if anyone else is coming in from the other side. Didn't actually find him. He pushed up towards the rock face as well on the peak. He leaned in for it, but neither one gave away the info fully. So obviously it's just the audio he's playing off for now, staying tucked in. If they push ahead of him, could backstab them really nicely.
They have no idea. They're properly confused on what's occurring. We're going to get our next circle. And it wasn't as treacherous as I thought it was going to be. This one is going to push a lot of teams away from the field, at least from Yasnaya, so teams could be happy about that, but it's across the river. Jackie, over towards AX, E-Arena. Weibo's made a good wrap, actually, as well, over towards this north side. They are coming through that open ground, and Alpha 7 could chime in over towards that western side. We'll see how it happens, but Alpha 7 is so focused on taking over towards DRX, but DRX is left.
Join now with Alpha 7's POV straight back in, and this is what you were saying, the rotate over there, taking shots from the back line. Squash, we know that he can be talented, and unloading at the minute, snapshots over the top just as they tuck into the compound. A lot of chip damage onto them, yeah, massively so, and you can follow up from it as well. I mean, Order in a horrific position, they just keep finding these knocks. Late game rotate, like it's been nice for them, but it results in this.
That's an important knock over towards Yangon. Galacticos coming through from RCB. But Weibo Gaming can get themselves back up. This is a Hail Mary of a play, Jackie, all right? In terms of where they are on the map, it's very, very central. They'll take the Wizard Tower here, which works out nicely. But they need to basically hold this position for the rest of the game. The vehicles are shot to bits. The tires are going to be all popped by the time they get out to them. So Weibo Game is not moving. At least not until the end game.
No.
Well, what are you doing?
Mate, you actually made it in. Oh, it couldn't have been better timing on it. Straight Benny Hills out up the stairs, wanting to get himself into the high ground.
This is a risky play.
No, it's
there's no one there to help him.
He just went for it.
It's like, we need the high ground.
Yeah.
We need to play up the high ground.
I've got to go.
I've got to go. I've got to go.
I've got to go. And he did. Go, he did.
Yeah. So that was literally a player. I guess the reason they do it is that making that play later, you're going to have 3 or 4 teams looking at you. So this was the only time to do it. Respect the fact that, you know, when it's crunch time, they're ready to play inside the crunch.
I mean, like, honestly, they've been kind of subverting expectations already with this matchup, even if it hasn't been just off the back of like, oh, we're seeing some crazy gun skill. They're keeping you guessing a little bit, which at times, thriving in the chaos, can be incredibly beneficial. Seems like non-ship Red Force taking a knock there, though. We've got a bit of a follow-up as well, with AX getting thrown into the fight. Falcons, of course, here, having a whole load of shrapnel thrown towards them. Narvalo is down. Still in a position where he could tuck around the back of the stairs and be saved, at least. Arian trying to just throw out some bullets to keep them guessing. Does he actually want to push up? It's a nice nade over towards where Koa is. He cooked this one perfectly. Chuck it in top.
Ooh, it's pretty nice, actually, yeah. I think for AX, they're way more concerned about this next circle. Jackie, The amount of water in this is staggering, only for it to be over towards that southeast side with the fields.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous body of water. You think about the limited amount of space you've actually got to play with in the zone because of this. Okay. I mean, this has already been a bit of a cheeky one, Lang. So let's see where it goes. Nongshing Red Force here, just eating bullets, trying to use the water as some sort of additional cover to work with, throw it off, but no. I mean, Alpha 7, eyes like a hawk at the minute, dialing onto them. We do say goodbye to another one of our squads here. Going out second, of course, with Power Game would be the only full wipe that we had way back at the start of the game. That's why there's so many teams still in play here this late into the matchup.
And this is a really interesting position from Regnum Kaya, where they're underneath the bridge right now. They're playing the bridge, but the fact that no other team has really challenged that position as well is a staggering thought to me, honestly, because a lot of times you'll have teams on either side. So Regnum Kaya being able to hold this, it doesn't seem like the best position in the world to be literally on the iron girders underneath there. But it does keep you alive a long, long time. Doesn't always necessarily give you the winning position of the game, but I think for a lot of teams, survival is quite important in this particular match with this kind of circle.
Okay, here's two names we haven't had to say too much during this matchup, but of course were very prevalent in our first outing of the day. You've got 4Fribes and also Vision. They're both fighting down towards the outskirts. Similar kind of setup here, actually, with some of the teams that could be going head-to-head relatively soon. AX on the force down with E-Arena coming in from the back line. Henry might get caught. And you've got Falcons that will be waiting in the wings as they get lower down towards the roadside as well, with Vision onto them. Oh dear, Blank. Potential for some interesting little bouts here. It's a wide spread, though, from the arena. So they've got a lot of a lay of the land onto it. They can try and get a bit of vision onto the backside with DRX and Alpha 7.
He can't really afford to play anything too close here for E-Arena, because the space is just absolutely diabolical to play in. IQ, very, very good player. Been playing for a long, long time. Smart guy, hence the name. Looking to lead 4Fribes towards a victorious push here versus Vision. They already find some good damage over their way. He's slowing it down. He's running circles around them.
Vision realistically just have not had an opportunity to move too much over the course of the past few minutes. We'll come back to that for as it's DRX. They've got the opening chicken dinner of the day. Now they're just being given an explosive breakfast with Nitro being thrown their way. Nade after nade on top. Weebu as well, still being able to get stuck into the fight from the side as the bullets hit. Hyunbin on the nade back, good for one, but he's got a full army coming his way. I mean, this is E-Arena, the wall of smokes in front of him, effectively just him left. Everyone else has been taken out, so DRX, if they want to get the back-to-back wins, it would need to be an unbelievable effort just from Hyunbin with an awful lot to get done.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a struggle position. Luckily for him, E-Arena is getting walloped from the sidelines. Oh, what a problematic smoke there. Dissipates, and his eyebrows raise and are visible to E-Arena. Falcons somehow make their way in front of AX here, which is nice, and obviously take out the opposition, but what a disgusting circle this is. All lake, all field. Fireflux currently holding down towards Vision and 4Fribes, so even if one of those teams gets away with their life, they're still going to have to deal with shots coming through. But Vision actually able to sneak on past using that ridgeline on the west towards the roadside to make that happen.
Nade after nade. It's good damage. AX being able to find opportunities to fight on their terms in both matchups we've seen today. Going for the full crash as well. The Rhino maneuver with the vehicles over the top side, hitting heavy onto the Falcons. Now Valo at least with the reply back, good for one.
No.
The nade on top of the team. Oh, Henry goes down and so do the Falcons. Oh mate, feels like no one really wins there.
To be honest, I think that should have been an AX just wiping out Palo. Plays a risky game, drops a nade at his feet, finds two on the knocks. Somehow it happens, Team Secret, Lil Boy will go down. That's Jaiki in the back there. This is Team Secret all the way on the northeast side, coming out from Yasnaya. Alpha 7 made a big swim down towards the center of the circle. As we said before, Weibo have just not been able to move all that much. Their vehicles are shot. It is Yangon Galacticos still making this one happen, though they lose Say Cloud.
It's nice seeing the energy as well from Team Secret actually into this one. A lot of yelling already from them on the player camps. You can see they're trying to keep themselves fired up. Opportunity to steal away a couple of elims so far. And it's put them in a pretty good spot. I mean, you know, Influence Rage, top spot with 6 points, but you're at a close second, still able to build more as well. We've got 4 players alive. Now, off the back of what was a crazy dive in, Order still from a position to find more impact. Team Secret still popping up, and again and again.
Regnum Kaya, they've got a lockdown on this western side of the circle. It's such a nice place to be in where you really don't have much competition. They can get involved when they want, playing off from this bridge position. And again, a lot of teams didn't put stock in this, and I don't know why Regnum Kaya was the only team to make that choice earlier on to pick this one up. And to be honest, it's a bit of a change, honestly, from their usual play. I think that they took their time moving from Rozhok a little bit further across towards apartments. A fair few times on these kind of circles, they've been caught out where they move too far and too fast. The circle ends up coming back their way, and then they struggle in the future because of it. And it should have been an easy pickup. Order attempts to make the cross, and that will be one. More in the pocket of Regnum Kaya.
Yeah, the man himself, Silas, on screens, looking to find some impact on this one and build up the elims for him from the position they've got with the cover to play off. Now, Weeboo been taking their time. Feels like they've been, you know, given a bit of plot armor with some of the fights they've survived throughout this map. Maybe that's about to change. It's a good peek in. Loxy lops them up, shuts down one. There's the reposition close into the ridge as well. The rest of the squad not really in a position to attempt to trade, and the angles just don't favour you. You've got covered either on that side with the rock face, you've got vehicles to play off of. My God. With a quick peek, good headshot there.
Yeah, that was nuts from Toshbek. So low though, but need to get that headshot coming through from the Mini 14. Stake 3Z going down, just Suk remaining, our slightly more unorthodox player coming through from Weibo. On that big split they had earlier on. Alpha 7 do make it across, by the way. They did a heavy amount of damage, but managed to make it happen. Toshbek looking now, but you can see from staying in this spot for a long, long time, resources aren't looking all that great.
Yeah, running low. That's the factor that could come back to bite them the longer this one goes on. I was curious to see if things would keep developing in a good manner for Team Secret as well, as they had a nice little bit of choreography there for a while. They were finding fights where it looked like it was working well. I mean, up to 6 elims, but they've been shot in the back. They do at least still get the knocked player back up, so it's going to be okay to reset from it. That's the last remaining member of E Arena as well, just down towards the coastline there in Joker. Meanwhile, Alpha 7 low here on resources, but can they build back up from forcing out?
What are you doing, Carrillo?
Oh, mate, what's happening? Bladed him.
Hey, here's that initial fight from earlier on versus Influence Rage, and Drang just holding it down in that front line. Diego goes down to hopper from Lil Boy, and he just holds the angle apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of setting this one up where it's like, oh, this could be big for them, force them out, take the position off them, get some gear. Nades the back of the face. Love that. But let's see if they can save Revo, get him back in the fight. Meanwhile, they're being collapsed upon though. So this is Aura coming in from the top as well, looking to really put the pressure on here. No fear, living up to his name. Nade over the top, burst in air. Aura with the first knock back over. Seems like Silas as well, taking that one straight to the dome. It's a 3-pointer. Oh, mate, beautiful work done. We move out in the meantime. Sleep, he has his legs blown out on the nade back over from Alpha 7.
If he hits this. It's so close, bro. That second nade was unbelievable, but Forever was able to make his way down and hit the shot. Regnum Kaya will go out there. 6 elims. I think that was a good game from Regnum Kaya, all things said. They just got themselves into a position where couldn't quite figure out a way to remove themselves from it. Again, I don't think the circle favors them at all here. So I do think it was decent. For Carrillo, yeah, head down focused. Definitely should feel a little bit guilty about what he just did up towards Revo, who was revving up to get a good nade over towards Regnum Kaya earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you say, if you can at least recover it individually, then it'll be all right. We can forget about the bad times and the possibility of it maybe being better than it should have been. Well, we'll go from here. You forced out the team underneath, so no one blocking your path. It allows at least a bit of a reset from Hora. A lot invested into that, though. Unfortunately for them, they were hoping it would be way cleaner, right, on the dive in with a third party. You get left with just 2 players. It is going to slow you down. So many nades used as well from them. So back pockets relatively empty, and there's not much to pilfer from what was underneath the bridge.
Yeah, this is such a weird circle as well. You do not see this kind of circle for many, many months at a time. It's a very, very odd one. I don't think I've seen the circle end up around here for a long, long, long time. Pretty much for Thrives or Fireflux do have a big position here purely because they have the ridge line to play around between one another. It's going to be Horror, No Fear, Alpha 7, Team Secret, and potentially E-Arena is going to be getting themselves involved with one another. Obviously, the big difficulty though for Thrives and Fireflux is that eventually that ridge line is going to be useless to them because they're going to have to move over towards that north side.
Well, Horror might have just outlived potential expiry date they've had on this one. No Fear, the last to fall, as Revo will get revenge for the damage back over into the previous encounter towards the bridge, and he can save his teammates. You will still have 2 of the Alpha 7 squad alive and kicking, trying to play off each other here. Let's see, maybe they can build themselves back in, have a great start into the second game of the day, and show us the reigning champs have a lot of fight left in them. Team Secret though, Blanket, I'm curious to see actually if they could show up on this one. It's been nice from some of the mid-game fights that we saw them taking, and I love how fired up they look. Like instantly into this matchup, they're yelling, they're going for all of the good comms. That's not what you want though. Sideline shot back over, quick trade, headshot onto Revo with a mini 14. It's a nice knock again. They're feeling the pressure from this position.
It's bad though. This is the worst time for Revo to be able to find a shot like that. For Alpha 7, they're far into the circle already, but this next one's going to start to push them. And to be honest, in that moment, Team Secret likely wanted to start finding a bit of a foothold in the future. You can see Fireflux here locked into the tiniest ditch available, and the circle is going to continue to push them further inwards. I like the way 4 Thrives is playing this. They've got that lineup, so even if Fireflux are able to send a nade across, they've got way more space to play in, and they are taking advantage of that space as well. So these nades have got to be absolutely sublime from Fireflux.
Had a decent amount of them to work with as well, and you can see how they're setting this up. Good comms on it, slightly staggered with the nades going over. Looking to make sure they can commit onto the knock player just a little bit shallow. It's such a substantial distance though. Definitely trying to see if they could force out the 4 Thrives members and punish them. Oh, this could be good. Perfect timing. Wait, peek up, slap back over though, Blank. It's not for free. They're actually able to at least get a quick trade onto him, so good heads up play.
The Bush had a framework made of metal, stopped that buggy in its tracks. The Fireflux ruined by that moment. They really just wanted to get across and start taking shots to the 2 players remaining from 4 Thrives. In the meantime, though, Madcap will go down, as will Scarface, and it's looking pretty grim right now for Fireflux. Alpha 7 and Carrillo as well as Revo. I mean, that is a dynamic duo and a half, and they could make something work out of this game.
Potentially so. There's always a chance. There really is. Fortunately for 4 Thrives, now it's just one that has to thrive. That's all that's left for them. And like you say, a bit of a split there. 2 teams in terms of the battle of attrition that do have 3 players alive, but limited resources to play with, and the cover really isn't there for most of these squads. So closing the gap between one another, it's risky. It's all or nothing. You've got to peek in, off your teammates' contact, and commit to those elims. You can't mess around on this one. And Secret looking very agitated, obviously aware of the Alpha 7 position, knowing it's do or die on the peak.
For Team Secret, the lucky thing for them is that they have a lot of hard cover in front of them, and those rocks, as well as the tree line. This is wild from 4 Thrives, but they knew where Ketch was, and they're just looking for 3rd place. It's a smart maneuver. They're going to confirm points. I actually like a team that does that, that takes it into their own. What?
Okay, goodbye Team Secret. That's how that goes, mate. The damage over the top with an aid, and the absolute aggression from Alpha 7 that throws us back into a head-to-head 1 versus 2. Revo looking to let it rip on the shots over the top, and there you go. Alpha 7, your reigning champions. They might have struggled on the first game, but they're back. They mean business, and they take that one home.
I mean, that's an apology and a half of Creo. I'm going to win the game for you. I'm going to win the game for you. Trust me. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, I was praising Fourth Thrive for the fact that they knew where Ketch was. And they were like, we're going to just secure a third place. We'll leave Noki behind, and then he could try and go for a second or a first if he's lucky. And in that moment, I think Team Secret gets so flustered.
Yeah.
These just get torn to pieces. But there was so much opportunity, in my opinion. It's 2 guys from Alpha 7. They're more putting presence and everything behind those rocks. You just send out over towards that hard cover, towards that tree line, instead of sitting behind that vehicle. You have much